The slow way of getting rid of a stump. Basically, you're turning it into a modified rocket stove. You got a small hole drilled all the way from the top straight down, and then around the base, you've got holes. You can see where the chip piles are from the holes being drilled horizontally from down here into the center. Same thing here again, this pile into the center, all the way around. So you've got the one central chimney in numerous places. You can see where all these chips are. Sorry about the wind, it's pretty windy out today. And just a small hole. It's only about a 3/4 inch hole. And it will take days to burn, but it's slow, controlled, and frankly easy. Better than digging or backhoeing out the stump. I started at about 1 o'clock this afternoon. I will check it every few hours and show updates. Well, it's not quite 2 hours later. And it looks like it has gone out, but it really hasn't. It's funny how the fire finds nooks and crannies and cracks to travel on. Over here, that was not burning earlier, but it has traveled through the crack lines in the stump. And from a little ways back, it looks like the fire has gone out, but it actually hasn't. It's burning quite well, actually. It's very slow, very calm. And it'll just keep doing that as long as it has material to burn. We're about 4 hours into the burn. It's still going very slow. There's no open flame right now, but it's still burning inside there. If it was earlier in the day, I'd probably work it a little bit, restoke it some. But we're only an hour and a half or so before sunset, so I'm just gonna leave it, let it burn through the night, see if it burns through the night. And in the morning, it'll either have burned down some more or I'll have to restart it. We'll just see in the morning. Okay, it's right at sunset. It's been about an hour and a half since that last little short clip, and about 5.5 hours into the total burn. And it's still going. Noticeably larger cavity in the middle, still just embering away down in there, if that's a word. What's a little strange is some of the air inlet holes are actually a little larger, probably due to the way the wind was blowing fire out of the holes when it was blowing in from the other side. But it's still going. I was kind of afraid it was burning itself out, but he's still going. So I wet the area around it down real well. Plus it's rained off and on for the last day and a half. So we'll just let him run through the night. Let's get a view in there. There you go. There's a lot of heat coming out there. If you've never done a stump this way, it is so much easier than fighting it with saws and shovels and axes. And so there we go. We'll see how it looks in the morning. Okay, we're 18 and a half hours into the burn here. I checked it an hour or so ago, but the audio was messed up, so came back out now, and Other than on the outside where one of the vent holes caught, there's no open active flame, but it's still going strong. If you catch the view just right in some of the cracks, you can actually see glowing red. So it's definitely a slow process, but it is so much, frankly, easier and less destructive than getting in here with equipment or axes and chainsaws and all that. So we'll check it again in a little bit. One thing that surprised me on this is the amount of smoke it's given off. This tree's several years dead. It was cut down, man, 2 or 3 years ago. So it's not a fresh green stump or anything. It should be pretty dried out. And we've had rain the last few days, but it shouldn't have saturated it that much. Plus the fact that we're also right about 19 hours into this burn now, and it's still giving off that much smoke. I would have thought it would have burned drier and hotter than that. So maybe it's just an airflow issue, but it is what it is. But again, we're 19 hours into this. No real open flame visible. But it's just working away inside the cracks of the stump, eating it up. We're at about 20 and a half hours or so, and it's largely gone. There's still a fair amount to it, but it's probably 70–80% gone, at least above ground right now. So I'm just going to let it keep going and let it eat itself up. Okay, right now we're at about 23 hours, and it's further and further. The open flames have kicked back up, just due to the wind, I'm assuming. Because earlier there was no open flame, it was just embers that kept eating. But now the flames are back, and it's still chugging along happy. These little holes right there, that's about 3 inches in diameter. And that started off as a little 3/4 inch hole I drilled for ventilation. It is got to be 80–90% gone at this point. Well, I didn't get any further in process video. It's been about another, oh Lord, 20 hours or so, and it's basically gone. I got distracted with other things yesterday and didn't get any footage of it getting the last little bits of the burn, but it's pretty much gone. I'll dig through the ashes and see if there's any more that needs to be taken down below dirt level, but worked out fairly good. I'm actually in the process now of going to a further stump. That's why the additional hose going out to a burn barrel I've got out there. This one I'm using the burn barrel on a big cedar tree. And I may do that separate just to not get them mixed up and not drag this one out too long, but that's how it ended up, even without a barrel on it. Taken down to darn near nothing. Appreciate it.